Well, earlier we did inform you, we did bring you news of the fire break around 3:30 a.m. today at Thinkers Corner beside St. Joseph's Church of a telecommunications mast. Well, I was an eyewitness and the flames were going up. However, men of the Enugu State Fire Service were on ground to put out the fire. But we have a correspondent in the house, Christopher Leelee, who covered the event to bring us the most recent update on the fire outbreak. Good morning, Chris, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Hello, good morning. It's really exciting to be here.
Great, great. So the fire, I was on my way to work and I saw the fire flames going up on the telecommunications mast. Of course, everybody was running helter-skelter, but the good thing is that I saw that men of the Enugu State Fire Service Department were on ground, so they were pulling out their hose to, pump, to send in the water. But you could see the flames on, I guess, the power units of the mast. It was really going up, in smoke. And then I passed. But you have been there.
Yeah.
So you saw the event up until after the fire was put out. Please take us through it. What did you see, getting to that point?
Well, when we got in, it was really a tense one because the residents were panicked. Everybody was scared. Nobody wanted to run out of whatever it was. And the smoke was already coming down. There was still smoke actually, but the fire was already
the flames were out.
The flames were out actually, and then the fire service were already there on ground.
Yeah, you could see their truck.
Situation. Yes, they were putting out the water to make sure that the fire does not go out of hand, to further destroy what might have been destroyed so far. But then again, the residents were happy because the Enugu State Fire Service came right on time.
Yes.
At least to manage the situation.
I was impressed. And there's water on ground to put this fire out.
Yeah.
Because it's this is a huge improvement from what you used to be when you call the fire department and they'll tell you there's no water. So it shows that the fire department, they are up,
ready and
they are
to do
active.
The work. Yeah. And
so
some people will be asking, how possible is it that things like this happened and almost immediately they were around to manage to salvage the situation? It shows that something really is going on, and that's really impressive because it's a norm to some understanding that emergencies like this, you will call and call, and it's almost when everything is destroyed that you have these responders coming in right on time. But then again, it is one of those things, and the residents are happy. But I also remember hearing the serviceman mentioning that when they stepped in, they saw a spillage.
Yes, we'll get to the cause of the fire.
Okay.
It will even be a huge improvement if they were able to decipher the cost of the fire outbreak. But before we get to that, because by the time I saw it myself, it was around 7:30, so I suspect the fire probably started between 7 a.m. and probably between maybe 7:15 to maybe 7:29, because I passed around 7:30, right? So can we try to get an understanding of how long it took for the fire to be put out? But what was the time at which you got to the point, so that we'll say, okay, this fire lasted for 30 minutes before men of the fire service were able to put it out?
The residents said they were on it for within 30 minutes before the fire servicemen came in. And within that 30 minutes, they were doing what they know how to do best, by pouring water.
The residents themselves.
Yes, the residents pouring water. It was really a bold step from them, trying to salvage the whole situation. So within that 30 minutes, so this starts around 7. Yeah, around 7. Even if, according to one of the residents, that it was one girl that came out
and raised
saw
the
smoke and raised the alarm, and before they could start to pour the water, but that was not that effective though. You understand? But they were trying their best from within their own resources that they could work with. Before the Enugu State Fire Service came in and the situation was put under control.
So tell me about this spillage that they were talking about, the cause of the fire now.
Yeah, according to the fire service, that when they came in, there was no security personnel on ground. and then they discovered that there was a spillage, a leakage on the ground.
From the
From
power
the generator.
unit?
Yes, and that was what caused the fire.
The spillage, were they able to identify the spillage? Was it fuel? Was it gasoline? What was it?
Yeah, and it should be the gasoline that was there. You know, maybe there was a leakage that led to the fire outbreak. So that was the challenge. And then again, it is important that in cases like that, residents know what to do almost immediately. It's impressive that they have the numbers to call almost immediately. And then they came out in their numbers to try to put out the fire. Nobody was saying, it's not my business, I have to be careful.
This is a fire outbreak.
Yeah.
Were you able to get like a shot of the environment so we can see the background, you know, in front of which this mast is situated? Were they houses, or because we know that there's a church?
We should see something like that on the screen now. As you can look at the screen now, there are houses around the corner.
There are houses.
Also a church somewhere around the corner as well. And then you could see citizens coming out in their numbers because it's a neighborhood thing. You know, it's a neighborhood thing. People walking by the streets were also scared, and we're also calling out for help. I hear someone saying that a mother carried her 3 children, want to run out of the house because she was scared that the fire may get to the house. You know, it was really serious, and it's a good thing that the fire servicemen came in right on time to manage the situation.
It's a huge kudos to Enugu state government, huge kudos to the fire department. Were they staff of the telecoms company? Were they on ground? What were they saying? Did you interact with them?
At the moment, when we stepped in, there wasn't really any member staff there that we could really see. All we could see were citizens and of residents, people staying around that area, and of course the fire servicemen. Yeah, because according to the fire servicemen, there were no security personnel. Places like that should be guarded in case of emergencies like this. But then again, it is what it is.
I was because I wanted to find out if, because when there's a fire incident on telecoms masts, there's always consequences. Were you able to get if there'll be any form of aftermath of this fire? You know, I know you didn't meet any telecom staff, but did you hear side talks? What were the comments of the people there? Were they expecting an outage of some sort? What would be the consequence going forward?
That was not really stated out because there was really no professional for that very engine that was burnt to really ascertain what is the cause, what has gone bad, and what's supposed to be done to get that information. But so far, with the fire outbreak that we could see, something got burnt. Yes, a part of the engine, the machine there got burnt that they're trying to put out to make sure that it was
What are we looking at?
Yeah, if you look at the screen, the fire wasn't really, it wasn't a small thing. It was really
I did see the flames.
The flame was something else. Yeah, a flame that sent plumes of smokes, and people were actually very scared. It wasn't an easy one. But then again, it's a good thing that it didn't really get out of hand to actually spoil the whole thing. That was just it.
Oh, okay, that's great. Were there any other things, anything that is that you noticed, you know, looking around with the people? Were there any other thing that you noticed that is, you know, worth talking about?
If there's anything I noticed, I could see unity.
Yes,
people coming.
If we can have that video roll, so that we can take a look at, you know, the event that was covered. Beautiful.
Yeah. If you look at the incidents, the place that this thing happened, you see people coming out in their numbers. One of the residents mentioned that they were already preparing for church services and what have you. But when it happened, they all left what they were doing to come out to make sure that everything was sorted out. Everybody was safe and everybody was fine. And that is the spirit. That's what we expect to see. Be your brother's keeper. Be a good citizen. If you see what you don't understand, you know, scream out, call out the right contact for help to come in. And that was what happened this morning. And kudos to the people of Alo Street, Thinkers Corner, for really doing their best before the Enugu State Fire Service came in, which they also came right on time to
Yes.
manage the situation.
Yes,
It
yes.
was a win-win.
Thank you so much, Chris, for your insight on this story.
Thank you for having me.
All right, just keep glued to your television set to bring you more updates on this incident as the time goes on. Don't go anywhere. And there is an interview coming up for your listening pleasure. Do sit back and enjoy. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, I really want to appreciate Signature TV for bringing their presence here this day. It was a dreadful and horrible experience. Earlier this morning, all of us were inside our rooms. Most of us getting prepared for food for the family. Most of us getting prepared for our usual Sunday service. All of a sudden, a little girl came out, informing the neighborhood that she witnessed a smoke down there from the soundproof generator. So about 2 or 3 guys came out, which I was among. We started looking for a means to have access inside the station. So we couldn't find any means. Along the line, the outbreak started up. So that was when we started shouting and notifying the whole neighborhood that everybody should come out so we can try to do something. While we were doing that, most of the street came out. The people that have water, and everybody, we really did all we can do to control the fire. So while we are doing that, we are also contacting the fire service. So, and we cannot continue waiting for the fire service to come. We started doing our job. I must have to appreciate the neighborhood, the street guys, everybody, the mothers and the fathers and the sons, daughters who came out today. Neighborhood as our street, we really did do our wonderful here. Most of us came out. We tried controlling the fire. We did all we can do. At least we did the controlling about 30 minutes before the fire service arrived. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate the firefighters that came here this morning. It was a horrible one, but all thanks to God, everything ended successfully.
Mine no ekpekpere ebe 6 o'clock. Ọkụ na-agba, anyị kwụsị ekpere anyị na-ekpe, gbapụta, buru mmiri na omo tinye ya na-agwụ ya. Anyị nwụọla before anyị kpọzie ndị na-emenyu ọkụ a. Anyị kelee Chineke na o mere ka ọkụ a wee nyụọ. N'ihi na ọ bụrụ na o meghị ụlọ niile dị ebe ọ gara agba ọkụ. Ọtụtụ mmadụ gbara aka ma ụmụ nwaanyị a na-ebu mmiri a na-awụ ya tinye ya omo emecha ọkụ a wee nwụọ. Otu aka anyị fụrụ ya.
Those were people who were on ground during the fire incident that we have been talking about at Thinkers Corner. Witnesses who gave an account of how the fire started and what they did afterwards. The older man who spoke in vernacular in Igbo, he said basically that they were having their morning prayers around 6 a.m. when there was this, alarm of fire, and they left their morning ritual. Everybody rushed outside and they had to do something pending when help would come, and they had to go draw water from wells just to put out the fire. An interesting thing is they had the presence of mind to add detergent into the water they were pouring into the fire. So it's interesting, and I think it's noteworthy that maybe the fire would have been a huge problem even for firefighters had these residents not become proactive in trying to put out the fire, and it's something that should be praised. So Chris, I'm coming back to you. You did hear what the residents what they said about water and detergent.
I was personally impressed when I heard that. When you are in a hurry and things like this happened and you didn't plan it, you didn't see it coming, sometimes you lost track of what to do, and you're just confused. But these men really meant business. It
was as if they were prepared. You could see, look at what we're seeing. You can roll it back. You could see the water dripping as though there are foams in it. You could see.
Yeah. The films, they really tried, and it's really, really applaudable. And
we can also see oil mixed up in the water.
That should
be the spillage that they were talking about.
Yeah, and that was just one of those things that people guarding generators and what have you should look out for, so things like this don't have to happen again. And it's also important that we also really see how effective the first aid of these residents were.
Yeah, the first response.
Yes, coming out on time to do the right thing. And if you look, the first interviewer, the
young man,
yes, the young man, he said that while they were calling the Enugu fire servicemen to come in, they were already trying their best.
Yes,
to
he
manage
did
the
say
situation.
that they you know, I understand the physical exertion it takes to draw water from wells.
It's a lot.
He didn't mention that there was a pump supplying the water.
Yeah.
They had to go draw water from wells.
Yeah.
While others were trying to get to the fire department. So it's I don't even know how to.
It's heroic.
The response is I mean, top notch.
Yes, it's really heroic.
And then the older man says that they had to. What's this water and detergent?
Yes, you know, if you add detergent to water, it has a way of managing fire elements, things that would have actually make it more serious. And
you know, fire requires oxygen to burn, so it can, maybe it reduces the oxygen level and then
reduces it, and it just manages it.
I do recall, like, you know, I told you I saw this event when the flames were up. I do recall someone saying about the residents, oh, they are so heroic. I thought they should be running away from the fire. I remember it, you know, explicitly, rather than running away, they are running towards it. The other one said, this one is bold, or this one is even close to, you know, the power unit. What if it explodes or something like that? So was there any conversation about a possible explosion had the fire not been put out?
Well, definitely there would have been, you understand, because it was a generating fire growing gradually to maybe whatever it would have tapped into and exploded or something. But the hearts of the men, the women, the sons and daughters that came out this morning to salvage this was a lot.
You could even see children.
Children were there, and parents were also there. The fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters, everyone was there to make sure that our neighborhood will be safe.
We'll preserve it.
Nothing will happen.
This actually gives hope. There's hope for the Nigerian, there is people. Hope. There's hope.
Yes, that's why we need unity. You understand, in everything. And because if they had not come with one mind, one voice, I guess maybe we would say something else.
The well had some kind of far proximity from that place. Yes. Were you able to capture any well around there?
No.
So it means they had to go to a particular compound
to get the water, and you know it will likely never be enough.
It
was effective, but it wasn't enough. But at least it was able to contain the situation before the fire servicemen came in to do the job. It was really, really effective. But one really needs to look out for places like that. I think another angle we can look at from these facilities, should they be around neighborhoods?
Interesting.
Should they be around neighborhoods?
That should be the conversation. Dangers. Yes, it poses. You know, aside the physical fire, possibility for a physical fire, there are magnetic waves around telecommunication masts that actually have long-term health hazards to the people. So the conversation going forward should be, and I'm sure the House of Assembly members should be able to deliberate on this issue. What should be the proximity of telecommunication masts, in areas where people reside in? Shouldn't it be away? But then the question will be, how effective will connectivity be
if it's not close by?
If it's not close by.
I'm sorry if I'm going to deviate for a bit.
Okay.
We shouldn't just look at telecommunication masts. We can also look at transformer masts. We can also look at different masts that could also be a havoc to residents, depending where these things are located. And even if they're located within residential areas, how protected are they? Was the guard, the walls surrounding them? How deep, how effective are they? We can also look at all of these things. And also, where are the security guards that are supposed to be 24/7 guarding these facilities? Where are they? Because in cases like this, when the fire servicemen came in, there was literally no one on ground to call in to do what they're supposed to, because these are professionals that would have known how to go about it. Right from when the smoke was coming out, they would have started looking for a way to sort it out. But there was no one. So it's not just to have a facility on ground and then you disappear. You have to have the facility and also have the welfare, the security, the safetyness of the people in that area on ground, while having this facility there.
So it's proximity to where people live. It's securing the facility. Do you think that there's a possibility to demand for compensation? The residents, they could. What do you think? Because I think personally, as a people, we should demand more from our telecommunications, right? Aside the fact that many people are not comfortable with their service delivery. With things like this, should residents demand for compensation of some sort?
There should be some sort of community service to the residents. If you're having such telecommunication mast around the area for the inconvenience, you know, people living around this area should have something to enjoy too. Should they have access to internet? Should they have? That should be something that counts them worthy or lucky for hosting
the mast.
But in most cases, you find out that they are the ones hosting it. Most of them are not even employed to work there. Most of them are not even enjoying the benefits. I
think the proceeds go to the owner of the land specifically. I don't know how the arrangement is, but I think it should begin to change now, because if there are mishaps, just that this one wasn't overboard, but if there are mishaps, everybody is burnt. Everybody is affected.
The mishap that happened this morning, the owner of the land wasn't there. Even the supposed guard, the security guys that would have been around for the mast employed by the company were not there.
It's possible that they've absconded.
So who else bears the grunts? The citizens, the community members, people living in that area. That's why they should be considered as well. Because at the end of the day, we are Nigeria and we all deserve fair play, fair equity, right? In all that we are experiencing. So far, these people did a great job this morning.
Yes.
They should have.
But I think they can push it further. They can make a case with maybe their local government chairman, councillor, you know, the hierarchy up to the House of Assembly. There should be some kind of payback.
But in this very scenario right now, how are they going to push it when the fire just affects the facility? Didn't get to them, but then again, emotional stress.
No, it's like exactly. People were pulled out from church. People were pulled out from their places of prayer, from the quiet time. And what if? Are we supposed to wait until somebody probably dies, God forbid, or a house totally burns down? No. This is a point out to the fact that we need to put some regulations in place just in case,
especially compounds surrounding this facility. They should also have some sort of advantage, some sort of benefit regarding any emergencies, should anything of any sort happen.
Wow. So parting shots, Chris, it was nice talking to you, but parting shots, I'm just overwhelmed with joy. I just with events in our nation, it's always about doom, gloom, but with this, there's a flicker of hope. So basking in joy. Before I leave you, before I let you go, are there any other things you want to share with us?
First of all, a very big thank you to the Enugu State Fire Service.
Absolutely.
For the prompt response to come in and do justice to the situation, and also to the residents for the heroic act this morning.
Proactive.
And this one is not just about the men; the women were there.
The kids were
there. Everybody came out in their numbers, in unity, one voice and love, and then they put all of these things behind them. I pray and wish Nigeria comes and gets to that point where we forget about our religion,
absolutely,
our tribes, and our
I do not want to deviate. I do not want to deviate, but whenever there's a religious or tribal or ethnic divide, then it's politically motivated. But try sports, trying to protect, secure your integrity of where you live, people they don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are not only Igbos there. There are other tribes, but they didn't care where they came from. They didn't care their religion. They didn't care their ethnicity.
There was no age disparity.
If we can just translate this spirit into whatever we do in this country, I think Nigeria will be much, much better than what we are having or seeing today. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure having you.
Same here.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.